Well, we finally have an update on the Kentucky massacre that happened. At least that's what it seems to be. The person of interest has now been named. If you remember last week, we reported that a man was pulled over by a trooper. They engaged in some fire. The guy took off, went to a church in Kentucky, and took the lives of two women. At the time, we didn't know what his motives were. We didn't know why, if the church had any play in it, if there was a specific reason. None of that was known until now. And the man has been identified as a person by the name of Guy E. House. Now, when you hear the details, it will start to make sense a little bit, because it never makes sense to do what he did. However, we do understand now why he went to the church. After the escalating events with the police officer, he took off into the rural area and pulled up to a church out there. The church housed a woman and her daughter. Two of those individuals, those two women, were actually part and parcel of a different family, a new family for this guy who he was looking for his baby's mama. Now, the baby mama is the sister of the two of the one of the individuals that he took care of. The mom and the woman that was there, those related, was the mother and the sister of his babies. You get what I'm saying? So he went there to look for her, not for any other reason. He went to look for his baby mama. And he said to the crowd, at least is what witnesses said, well, if she's not here, somebody has to die. And he opened fire. Now, Guy had a couple of run ins with the law before. And when I say a couple, I use that loosely, very, very loosely. Many of his crimes that he has been accused of, battery, misdemeanors, domestic abuse, which is what he was actually due in court for a week later, like this week, is what he was due in court for domestic battery on the woman whose family he took out. And I think he did it in order to try and not go to court. Maybe he did this as an assisted way of exiting life. He knew he was going to be put out, so he did it on purpose, and he decided to take people with him. But he had a slew of records on his history. Now, recently, he had been also not converted necessarily to anything Islam, but he took up a lot of social justice decision-making ideologies and was running with them, possibly in an effort to try and find some sort of solace in the life he was living, unknown yet. Like I said, the lengthy run-in with the law left us in kind of a disarray, because if he did have this kind of a run-in with law, why was he still free and open to go where he was going? Evading, stolen property, vehicle damage, vehicle theft. Again, there was a laundry list, and he's been having a record for quite some time now, more than 5 years. So with that being known, they finally have a motive as to why he did what he did. In trying to find this woman, he found her family and put them to death instead of her. In the events that followed, he subsequently lost his life as well, with exchange fire from the cops. So now that we know exactly what it was, the question now remains, what the ex-wife or partner will do now, because she is married. The question will be decision now whether or not anything will be pushed in terms of her either filing charges on anybody, anything at all. Was the chase necessary? All of this stuff has to come into consideration now. Right now, she's more than likely doing a lot of grieving. The other two individuals that were harmed were the Combs family. Him and his wife were the two that were also shot, that were in critical condition at the time. We're still waiting on words as to whether or not they're going to go through with anything here. So we're waiting on a lot of things to come through. I'm not sure the police are going to share that necessarily, because it has nothing to do with the case, because they've already closed it, because the one person that did the shooting is no longer here. He was put to death at the scene. But now that we know who he is, we have a motive. It doesn't change the outcome whatsoever, but knowing something has to bring at least some closure to the people that were affected. We thought we'd bring you the update. Now that we have, if there's any more that comes out about it, if the sister decides to speak, we'll let you know. As soon as we know, we'll pass it on to you.